I
So
don't.
initially, you do? Okay.
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Okay. Sorry. So with that assumption, we are starting here.
Mhm.
But do you have any programming background?
I work as a data warehouse engineer here.
I see. So which technologies you are familiar?
Uh, SQL database and data warehousing. I mean tools, SIS, SRS, and
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. I think you can most cohesively join in this course. This is one of the area the data warehousing experts can extend their learning here. Okay,
yeah.
so the premise is that so we'll start with the basics about what is a big data as a definition, and also the challenges, how the Hadoop fit into this big data arena. So before we moving on to the actual technology framework discussion, we'll discuss about the use cases Hadoop is slated to solve, and the framework's capabilities, the type of the typical use cases this framework is aimed for it. So that will give a background about and direction where we are heading on with this learning. So once we set up the ground, then we'll get on to the actual discussions, like to just get a comfortness with the Linux and Unix systems. We'll run through some of the commands, the frequently used commands,
Mhm.
and then the if you are not familiar with Java background, we'll touch upon some Java basics as well.
Cool.
So the mostly the first part is like introductory and setting the level ground.
Mhm.
Like that, it will happen.
Mhm.
The second part is the one that's where we'll start the Hadoop discussion. We look at the foundation thing, that's a file system, and the core daemons that consist the Hadoop framework, and then the MapReduce, the various aspects in the MapReduce, like the job scheduling mechanism,
Mhm.
and then the important ingredients in the framework like mappers, reducers, and various other the combinations in this framework like that will do. Of course, when you're discussing with the framework, we also need to understand the type of files, the file read-write semantics are the important. Of course, we are dealing with the huge files right here. That semantics need to be understood in the framework.
Okay.
So the part two, if you look at it, basically consists of discussing around the framework and various options available in that, and the type of files it is going to deal with that. This is about part two. More or less, it resembles a continuation of the part one, where we had the introductory sessions.
Mhm. Okay.
But the third part is the real the crux, and this third and fourth would be the real crux of this learning. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
It's coming. Let me. Yeah, sorry for that. The part three and four are the real crux of the course.
Mhm.
Hadoop, just like any other big frameworks, has evolution. So Hadoop 2 is the one that is being used in production environments currently. So the earlier discussion we had on this Hadoop is mostly give understanding about the principles in the Hadoop.
Mhm.
But The Hadoop 2.0 is the one we should understand, we should have hands-on about it. This is where you will be using a lot, 90% you will be using it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the theme in the course is that while we are learning the new frameworks, new concepts here, and also you should have thorough hands-on, otherwise, these things will just fly off. So what I'm going to do, I'm expecting that you should have a good laptop with you. It has 8 GB something, so that we should be able to run a VM inside your machine. So I will help you in setting up the VM. If you look at my screen, I have a VM player. With that, we can run a virtual machine here. So much of the course will run through on the Hortonworks VM, and also I have some sessions that will take Cloudera VM as well. So these two VMs should download, and we should deploy them in the VM so that we can execute them. So if you play it, it takes 60 GB RAM in the machine and plays off, with CentOS being the guest OS here.
Okay.
So on this OS, we will do all the hands-on and the whatever topics we discuss here, the corresponding hands-on will have the next day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is one of the theme here. So Hadoop 2.01, this is the progressive extension happens on the Hadoop, which this is the one we should understand thoroughly. So there is various things came in the industry enterprise standards like fault tolerance, redundancy, availability, with high computation facilities. This is the one that is offering those things.
Okay.
The part 4 that is as I'm telling you, these are the crux of it. They are the highly the popular frameworks being used along with Hadoop. Mm-hmm. And also they called as ecosystem, means they are integral part of Hadoop system, though they are not built into Hadoop, but they are part of the Hadoop system.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are coming from warehouse background, Hive is the one that is exactly resemble like warehousing thing on Hadoop. If you're coming from the ETL background, or if you have ETL workflows, Pig is the one. This is the one, Pig, that gives all the data workflow semantics. And if you're looking for a data store, not database, data store, database have a different meanings.
Yes.
Data store, HBase is the one that is meant for the data store. So there are various flavors in this. Why we have various flavors is that Hadoop, when the system was developed, it was not meant for transaction systems. But at some point, people started realizing that it need to support transactions as well. So HBase is the one that is catering the need of transactions, or the OLTP aspect of it.
Okay.
And finally, you need an aggregator in that. Means data should come in, data should go out. So Scoop is the one that is that frameworks enable us to integrate data with other systems. Like we have legacy systems in Oracle or SQL. You want to move into Hadoop, or you want to move out of Hadoop or into some RDBMS system. Scoop is the one that integrates with the RDBMS system. So these are the de facto frameworks you see everywhere when Hadoop being discussed.
I'm being based right now. What I'm doing is that we have the data in one of the source in the Hadoop. It's coming from the HBase. What I'm doing is that I'm consuming the data from the HBase and I'm testing the data what is there in that by the data meter tool, which I'm working on. Yeah.
Okay, good. So HBase is quite versatile for this. I think you are already there. Good to know. Okay. The last part 5 would be the advanced one. See, the part 4, what you have seen, these are the popular frameworks, but they too have their own challenges as the more and more use cases are fitting into the Hadoop environment. The challenge is expanding, and the frameworks also need to evolve. So, but there are some fundamental principles that is emerge as a blockade for these frameworks, like the latency part, because all the frameworks they leverage on the MapReduce framework to do the processing or the rendering. That MapReduce has a different execution semantic that is not meant for low latency activities. So they're all coming to the high latency arena, which is not really fit into the latest the modern challenges. So with that, the advancement happened in the Hadoop ecosystems. So these advanced frameworks are like, if you start from the top one, the Apache Tej, the Spark, they are the new generation frameworks being ported onto the Hadoop. Tej is the one that doesn't use the MapReduce, but yet facilitate the computation aspect for the high wind peak, and also for to some extent of HBase as well. Spark is another different dimension in the Hadoop that doesn't use MapReduce, but yet gives the low latency responses. So Spark is expanding into the Spark SQL and machine learning libraries and graphics. If you are keen on the graph-based theory, graph-based databases, Spark is offering that too. So Spark, there is much debate is happening on the Spark, and in fact, in our organization, we have moved into Spark in production, and this is being looked at as an alternative for the MapReduce. So this is essential learning we should carry. So that's the reason I put it in the, this is a new edition I'm adding in this current syllabus.
Okay.
Of course, the streaming part of it. Spark as another extension of streaming. So far we've seen it. Streaming only was done through the other tool like Storm. Apache Storm is there. But that was not the integral part of Hadoop ecosystem. But Spark becoming the integral part of Hadoop ecosystem, it is offering streaming as well. Mm-hmm. And the other important in Cloudera Impala. We have another instance here, Cloudera instance I would like to discuss. So Impala is another framework which Cloudera is offering to tackle the latency challenges in the Hive. So Impala works in conjunction with Hive to give the low latency activity, just like if you're working with SQL or Oracle, when you fire a query, you expect results in seconds, right? So Impala is the one that is trying to bridge the gap here. And lastly, we have the Apache Hue. This is the GUI part of it. So far, the one thing you observe in these earlier frameworks, these are like mostly you have a shell, a terminal where you log in and do apply the commands. But so far, you haven't encountered any GUI so far. But Apache Hue is the generic GUI. It can work with all these frameworks. You could integrate Hive, Pig, HBase, Spark. Those things are in Impala as well. All are come under can be accessed through Apache GUI here. Okay. The last part would be the administration aspect of it. So far, earlier those days that you need to understand a lot of commands to look at the Hadoop environment. Let's say if you're adding more nodes or duplicating nodes, you need to tackle with a lot of the scripting model there. But recently, the new framework came in like Apache Embarrass. With GUI, you can control much of the administration aspect. Being like adding new nodes or duplicating it or modifying some daemons or stopping some daemons or extending the security of the daemons or extending the availability of the daemons. Everything can be controlled to the Apache Embarrass. So this is the one we'll discuss in the sessions. So while we're discussing the Ambari, it's also logically uniform to discuss the Zookeeper as well. Zookeeper is not an administrative tool; it is a configuration management tool. That is the invisible framework working behind HBase, working behind the Spark, working behind the Ambari, like that. So we'll discuss that Zookeeper as well. And also some of the monitoring and the troubleshooting aspects also will discuss that. So this is more of a give a feel about the administration and configuration to some extent. You know. So that is the length and breadth of the course. So we have in 6 parts, and we will be covering the latest frameworks on this one. So if you look at the hands-on, how it's going to be. So let us say take this simple Hive. So we'll start with the basics like hello world programs, just to get familiar with the Hive syntax and other basic commands.
Okay.
And then we can move on to the advanced topics here. The real use case I have, it's a sizable data. With that, you can run the Hive commands. So before we start this hands-on, I would like to ask you to download some data sets like hello world programs, anyhow I'll supply to you. But there are some big data sets you have to download. I'll send the link so you can download that. Keep them ready.
Sure.
So with that, we'll try the real world, at least near to real world use cases. Right. So that same theme I'm going to follow. See, pick basics and some the advanced ones here, advanced commands here. Ambari basics here, rest of the HBase basics and HBase advanced concepts here. HCatalog. Like that, we come through the Impala basics, Impala, other advanced learnings. So the same theme I'm going to continue across the learning year.
Got it.
So this is how you would be. So it's up to you. If you want to take it up further hands-on, you can take it up. I can help you in assisting it. The reason I'm choosing Horton is that Hortonworks VM is that Hortonworks gives with bunch of examples in various frameworks that you don't see in Cloudera and Mappa distributions.
Okay.
So this is very helpful for the beginners to understand, get a comfortness. Maybe once you are good, then depending upon your organization need, you can choose Cloudera or Hortonworks or Mappa.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah. So that is that course theme. What are your expectations with?
Basically, I don't have any deeper knowledge of Java because most of the people will say that we need the deeper knowledge about Java in order to get most familiar with the. Is that real? My first question is that. If that is real, if that is true, how much I need to get familiar with Java in order to get on the Hadoop before I move on?
Yeah, that's a good question. Hadoop has 3 flavors. One is that Hadoop developer aspect or the architecture aspect. Second is the administration aspect. Excuse me. Third one is the data analyst aspect or the business analyst aspect. I think you fall under the data analyst aspect because you are more into the data warehousing thing. Your stream, I don't know your interest, but if I want to categorize your activity, you fall under the data analyst activity, data analyst aspect. I don't know whether you're really interested in that or not, but I'm just trying to take an example. In that case, if you look, let me go back to that content here. Yes, Java is needed. Java is needed as long as you want to be deep into the Hadoop development or Hadoop architecturing. This is the piece. This is the topics where Java is required there. You should understand Java thoroughly. But coming to the analyst part, analyst aspect, like Hive, Pig, HBase, Scoop, none of them require Java. Even the advanced concepts. So the effort is going on continuously is that they want to make it technology neutral. I mean to say the programming neutral. Any discipline person can able to come in and understand its own semantics rather than the background semantics. Tej will have its own semantics. Spark will have its own semantics rather than understand the what Spark was developed. That is not important for us. So like that effort is going on. So as a result of it, none of the packages demand Java skills at all. So each one has their own syntactical flavor. If you understand that part, we are good.
Okay.
So only if you want to quantify the Java need 20% only in the whole exercise.
Okay. All right.
Right. But anyhow, when you are in Hadoop classes, it is good to know what when need comes, you should be able to jump in.
Yes. Yeah. How long this course work will go on? I mean, how long this course will go on? And it depends on the months. I want to know because
It is a month-long course. Some packages require a lengthy discussion. Some are not required. Some are not required lengthy discussion. So there are some cascading things you'll see it here.
that's what I'm.
Initially, this may take a little bit of time to get familiar with this. So once you understand the basic things, so high peak takes a while because these are very foremost things in Hadoop. And HBase also, it's a new concept. But rest of things, they are pretty quick because they are built on top of the earlier concepts and principles. So we can have a quicker learning in these new technologies.
Yeah.
Initially, we have to spend a good amount of time in the classic technologies.
Yeah. Good. Is practical and our theoretical will go by parallel, or how it is going to work?
Both hand in hand. So in a class, let's say if you're done for a 1 hour to 40 to 1 hour, depending upon your availability. So some 50% will have theoretical discussion and rest will have some hands-on. Or otherwise, one day we'll have theory, next day we'll have some hands-on.
I mean, okay, that's cool. I mean, okay, one more question. Is that you're going to take the classes on the weekdays or the weekends? What would be your convenience? I don't know.
Weekdays are the one I typically choose.
You choose the weekdays are the one you're saying?
Weekdays, yeah. So I think you are, I don't know, are you in, with John, are you there?
I'm in the CSC timings. It's just
Yes. Okay, so that will be, so you're from your Monday to Friday evenings?
Yeah, sure. That should be fine. I come by home at 6 o'clock. After finish my work, that should be fine. After around 6 to 8 should be fine for me.
6 to 8, 6:30 my time. Okay. Yeah, that's the. I have 7 to 8 is not possible. Means your 6:30 isn't possible. Let us see. We'll accommodate that. 6 to 8 is a that also works for me. We can intimate you that.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. I need to set up any software in order to go forward, or
Yeah, you need to. You need to. If you look at this, my folder is sandbox settings.
okay.
This I will be sharing with you. This will give you the list of softwares you need to download and keep it ready. So in the introductory classes, I'll help you in setting up the environment.
Yeah, one more thing is that can you please send the configuration required to set up these all things, because I never know how much RAM space and the disk space required for those softwares. If there is exceeding the limit of my computer configuration, so that I can.
If you have 8 GB RAM, how much memory you have? RAM you have?
1 TB RAM. You say RAM is
yeah, RAM.
I guess 16 or 8 GB. I don't know.
RAM. 8 is a good fit. And hard disk, if you already 1 GB, 1 TB, right? It's perfectly fine.
Cool.
So that's what we need. So we'll run a VM in your. You will configure a VM in virtual machine inside your laptop, and I would like to because Hadoop is one enabler of. Let me just touch upon that the scope of it.
Sure.
The reason Hadoop became popular is that It is not that Hadoop is the only framework that is doing wonders in this space. No one has done it before. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is the ecosystem that is help driving the Hadoop. The various capabilities ecosystem has now, and with the economy, with the affordability, that is bringing value to the organizations. So if you look at the perspective of um, what the end customers want, the stakeholders want is that they have huge data is in terabytes. They wanted to process it to some logical stage and wanted to do some either aggregative reports, or if they have money and time, they'll even go for analytics based, pattern mining, the deeper machine learning part of it, predictive analytics, pattern mining, or the various classification and like that, depending upon their time requirement and budget. But one of the foremost thing many companies are doing is that aggregative analytics, means summaritive analytics. You have data, you with these technologies like Hadoop and ecosystems, you can bring it to some meaningful format, and then you should be able to do some dashboarding thing. That is not a too costly affair for the organization. So in that regard, what I'm trying to add in the course, I'm still looking for the options.
Okay.
At the end of the fourth one, the part 5, I would like to show a demo on the Tableau, how we can integrate Tableau with Hadoop frameworks and what it takes to have a dashboarding on it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's all I would like to share with you, Bharat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. Let me go with the slides and the coursework, what we have in these slides, and I had in my email. I can go through once before we go on, and just send me the links, what I need to install.
Yeah. If you have any questions, please send it to the organizers. They can pass on to me.
Sure.
Initially, once we have a regular course, you can directly interact with us.
Yeah, sure, Madhu. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay then. Okay. Good night, and I think you have a good your Black Friday is still going on, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm being on.
Okay.
Okay.
So enjoy your time then.